Hey guys, it's your maths teacher here today, and it's Paul. Thank you for tuning into Paul's Maths Lab. Yay! Woo! Yeah. Okay. Today we're going to do some mathematics as usual. So anyway, guys, today we want to learn about angles in triangles. Okay? Angles in triangles. What do angles in triangles add up to? Does anybody know? Oh, some people saying, I'm not sure, I'm not too sure, Paul, what is it? Well, I'll tell you it. Angles in triangles, angles in triangles add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so angles in triangles add up to 180 degrees. Knowing that information will help allow us to solve a few problems. Okay, so the problem that I'm seeing first is this problem here. Problem one, that's what I'm going to call it. Problem one. This is my problem that I need to solve. In doing maths, you make many enemies that you need to solve their problems, basically. Ha ha ha. That wasn't quite funny at all. It was meant to be a joke, but as I was saying it, I was like, that's quite silly. Okay, well, anyway, here we go. So they've given us this triangle, and they have given us two angles. So they've already given us two angles. We know one of them's 40 and one of them is 70. Okay, and we know that angles in triangles add up to 180. So what do we need to do? Well, we basically need to know what we need to add on in order to make a total of 180. So first off, let's add these two numbers together. 40 plus 70, let's just do it on the side there. So 40 plus 70 is going to give us 110. Okay, now we know and the angles need to add up to 180. Some of you may be able to see the answer from here. You may be able to see that the answer is 70, but just for showing your working out, that's what I just want to do. I just want to show the working out. So working out will be 180 take away 110, which is equal to 70, and that is what this angle is here. This angle is actually 70. Okay. Now this is actually a special triangle actually. Do you know what it is? It's actually an isosceles triangle. Okay, the reason why we know it's an isosceles triangle is because an isosceles triangle, we know that two of the angles will be equal. Okay, which is these two angles are equal and that one's different. So that tells us that this line is the same measurement as this line. So these two lines are of equal size, and equivalently these two angles are also of equal size as well. Okay, so that is for a special case. That's a special triangle called an isosceles triangle. Okay, now let's look at this triangle here. Well, this is just a normal triangle, shall I say? Not necessarily a special one. Anyway, let's find the angles. So we've been given two angles, 26 and 51. So let's add them up together. 26 and 51. That's going to give us 7. That's going to give us 7. So we've got 77. Lovely. Woo! Okay, now we need to take that 77 away from 180. So we'll now do 180 take away 77. Okay, 0 take away 7, can't do that. We need to borrow 1 from this 8. So this 8 turns into a 7, and this 0, we put a 1 beside it, turns to a 10. So now we've got 10 take away 7 is 3, 7 take away 7 is 0, and 1 take away nothing is 1. So 103. So that angle here is going to be 103 degrees. Okay, y will be equal to 103 degrees. Okay, I hope that makes sense, guys. So angles in the triangle add up to 180 degrees. So usually in a question you'll be given two angles, and you'll need that in order to find the third missing angle. Okay, and just scrolling down here again, we've got some special triangles. This one, if you see a triangle that has these lines on all these lines, these dashes on all of the lines, that means that the triangle is an equilateral triangle. An equilateral triangle. So it means that all three of the sides are the same length, and respectively, that means that all three angles are also going to be equal as well. So all three angles are going to be equal. So this angle is going to be the same as that angle, which is going to be the same as that angle. So all three of the angles are equal. So if we know we have an equilateral triangle, what does that tell us the angle will be? Since we know that all three angles have to be the same and they need to add up to 180, what calculation could we do in order to find out what the angle is? Anybody know? Have we got any takers? Some of you are saying, no, I'm not too sure. Well, the calculation that we actually want to do is basically 180 divided by 3, because we're just splitting it into 3 parts, because we know each one is going to be the same, and we've got 3 parts there, okay? So 180 divided by 3, that will actually just give us 60, okay? So each of these angles in an equilateral triangle will be 60, and that goes for all equilateral triangles will be the same, because some of you may ask me a question like, are all equilateral triangles going to be? Yes, they are going to be the same, because they need to add up to 180, and all of the angles need to be equal, so therefore they're all going to be the same, okay? And you know it's an equilateral triangle once you've been given, if you see those 3 lines that are put through the sides, you definitely know it's an equilateral triangle. With the one here, when you've only got 2 lines, that's an isosceles triangle, okay? And isosceles triangles is these 2 angles are going to be equal. Now, this one's going to be different. So, for example, if this was, let's say, 50, and these 2 are equal, we know that the remainder, if we take 180 and we subtract 50 from it, that's going to give us 130, okay? So we know that this angle and this angle are going to equal, or when we add them up together, they're going to equal to 130, and we know that they're both the same, okay? So basically we need to do 130 divided by 2, so do 130 divided by 2, which will give us 65, okay? So we know that this is 65, and this is also 65 degrees, okay? So that's really angles and triangles, guys. So angles and triangles add up to 180 degrees. In most questions that you may be given, they'll just probably give you 2 angles and may ask you to work out what the third one is. But in the case of it being a special triangle, they may only give you 1 angle, and you need to use the information that you've got on special triangles in order to solve that problem. Okay. For example, if you knew that it's an equilateral triangle and they've given you the sides like that, they've put those lines in the sides, and they haven't given you any of the angles, you therefore know that, oh well, each of the angles are going to be 60. Or if they give you an isosceles triangle, and you know that they've put the lines through two of the sides like that, and they've given you one of the angles, you should be able to work out what all the other angles are using the information that you know. Okay. So anyway, guys, I hope you answered that. If you didn't, please leave a comment below. Thank you once again for tuning to Paul's Maths Lab, and I'll see you guys later.